If you don't know, this is actually a part 2 to a series in which I made 6 games in 2 months in order to learn how to make games. This is the second video in that series in which I go into game 3. So, game 3, I wanted to scope high. Alright, I was a little frustrated that I had nothing to show for my project so far, other than one game that was completed that I couldn't publish, and the second game that was failed. I wanted a game that I can play and kind of take seriously while I was doing it. I also wanted people to play it. This is where everything took a turn for me. As I was planning for game 3, Ludum Dare was happening. Ludum Dare is a game jam. If you don't know what game jams are basically where you say, I'm going to make a game in a very short amount of time. Everybody could be like, hey, we're all making games about cupcakes. Right? Everybody gets the information at the same exact time. Come up with the idea. That's what you have to do. You have 72 hours, go. And you get together with your team or solo and you make that cupcake game the best damn cupcake game that you can. It's kind of just like a game dev rap cipher where everybody has a verse. And if you suck, it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Good job. You tried, you know. That took courage. So, really, there's no prizes. The prize is the game that you make at the end. And Ludum Dare 51 had a bunch of themes. I figured that would be the perfect time. I wanted to do something more serious. Entering basically a contest would be the ultimate challenge for me in terms of taking myself serious and taking this game a week project seriously. The catch is Ludum Dare is 48 hours. At this point, I was doing a week. This was 48 hours. And now I'm a contestant. Aiming for the gold, aiming for the W. There are a ton of games, if you don't know, that come from Ludum Dare. A good example of a recent game would be Roller Dome. There's another one a couple years ago, 2D and Top D, and that game did really well in a game jam. He took it and made it into a full project. A lot of people make games, professional and newbie, and I figured my aspirations were still to make the next Elden Ring. This would be the great place to start. So here I am. I entered. I literally sat down and all the themes that were possible. The one that was chosen was every 10 seconds. I wanted to make something that wasn't obvious. Most people made a game in which you clear a room, trigger fires every 10 seconds, escape in 10 seconds, and do this in 10 seconds. It's a very simple idea. It's very hard to get creative with. So I kind of wanted to flip it. I figured, what if you die every 10 seconds? Right? It sounds dumb. Right? Kind of. But again, the whole goal is to finish the project, and I kind of had a great plan around this idea. So the premise is this: you're being targeted by a laser. The laser targets you every 10 seconds and fires, and you are 99% chance going to die. So that was the plan, to make a kind of a 3D puzzle platformer based around your character dying every 10 seconds, right? Eventually, this idea evolved, as all ideas do. Remember, I said I wanted to make it big.
We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big,
I basically came up with the idea that you're a superhero team. The villain fires a laser at you and you die. You spawn a new hero and you continue on, right? That's my plan. Sticking to it. 48 hours. Go. And this game is by far the most complicated. This means I have to create a level select, character select. I have to create multiple characters, which I had no experience on doing. Everything I've done has been either in first person or with a basic player controller. Very simple. Now I have to kind of switch between them. But not only do I have to switch between them, I have to switch between them on the fly. It was way more than I had ever signed up for. I didn't have enough time to think about it. But I did spend long 8 to 10 hour sessions just working on this game. This game took everything I had. And again, the point of this is to make games. And I'm learning very briefly, if I can sit and do something for 8 to 10 hours, I probably enjoy doing it. And here is where I really started to kind of fall in love with game development, because I started to learn what I was capable of. In my mind, right, I was going to make this game. I was not going to take no for an answer. I had to make a level select screen, character select screen, 5 levels, 4 different skill sets, branching paths on each level that allow you to play as one of the 4 characters, right? A checkpoint system, a laser that isn't annoying as hell, right? I don't know if I succeeded at that one. Music, but I wanted music for each level, music for the main menu, right? I needed to create the store page, so that you can click the game and it actually looks good, right? This game was so ridiculous for me. 47 hours into this thing, on 2 hours of sleep, 1 minute left on the clock. I went to the store page, I pressed enter, and it glitched. For me, I literally almost cried. I was so upset. Once again, making a game that I could not publish. And I found out that a lot of people are trying to publish at the same time, and it causes glitches, and this is why I was having this problem. And I just sat there watching the time counter. I swear in my life, I was able to publish this game with 1 minute left on the clock. I finished my store page entry. So as I was waiting for the store page to load and allow me to upload my game, I decided to just upload to itch.io instead. So I quickly went to itch.io. My game had finished packaging. I uploaded it on there. I posted the link and I pressed submit. Then I went back and edited it and I tried to submit again. So as the 1 minute clock struck, I had my entry in. In the end, I did it.
Congratulations!
I did it. The problem is, I sat there so proud of myself, only to figure out that they give you an extra hour to submit. So I spent all of that heartache and emotional roller coaster for nothing. I had a whole extra hour to submit. The website was crashing. And I could just kind of chill. I was done for the most part. So I ended up packaging my game. I sent it through. I added some more images to it, and that was it. I was entered into Ludum Dare with this game called Hero Side. Alright, I added in 4 characters with different abilities. One character had the ability to go fast. One character had the ability to break walls. I had another character with a triple jump, and my 4th character had the ability to revive other characters. So there was definitely a puzzle mechanic in which you can use a character to unlock an area and it will die. Then you use the healing characters to retrieve him so you don't run out of lives, basically. So it definitely had some puzzle elements there. And the game came out well. People were playing it. They said all the characters felt unique and different and interesting. So this game by no means meets the expectations I had for it. I wanted to create different models, different body types, different sizes, and everything for these characters. Didn't look great, but it was done. And it was a game. And I made it in 48 hours. I did more in 48 hours than I was able to do in 7 days. And I learned so much about myself during that time period. Had I not spent the last 2 weeks working on broken projects, I would not have been able to do it. And it just goes to show that with time and effort, there is luck. And that's exactly what I experienced. It was actual people playing and rating my game. And it was receiving good ratings. I was getting 5s across the board. I was getting good feedback. And it felt like I was doing something that was reflective of how I felt for the first time. And it was just incredible. It was incredible. Great feeling. There's nothing like people playing your game for the first time. From here is when I consider myself a game developer. Alright, that is it. Thank you for watching. In the next video, you will see how games 4, 5, and 6 turned into a long-term project in the future, and how I started to develop my indie game style in terms of development, art, pretty much everything. Hopefully you guys stick around for the final part, which will be going in depth on how I started my long-term project and what's the best way to develop a longer term game. Alright, that is it. Thank you for watching. Peace.